Well, it's the beginning of day 6. Ran out of Princess Auto this morning. I got 3 of those 1,000-pound dollies. So later today, I'm going to have to get this off those down onto the dollies so I can roll it around in the garage because it's still overcast and raining. So today the goal is I got some reinforcement to do. So I'm probably going to do that when it's up at this level. Have some and a little bit of planing to do just to level off some of these surfaces. Take off all the clamps, make sure that everything held overnight, and yeah, and then lower it down. I also picked up some couple additional pieces of 2 by 10 by 10 so I can rip some framing material because I think I'm getting a little low there. I'm not going to rip it until I need it. But yeah, let's get at it. Well, my M12 Milwaukee impact gun will not reach into this space, so I have to do this old school with my Craftsman. Yeah, Craftsman socket. I've had this socket set since, I think maybe 35 years. I've had it a long while. Got it for Christmas one year from my parents. And it's still going strong. I'm installing some mending plates today, and I'm not using a hammer. Now I'll show you how I do it. So what I do, well, you know that they're pointy, is I just squeeze it into the wood a little tiny bit, just so it'll hold. And next, I just take this piece of metal bracketry that I've got here, put over the top of that roughly center, and I've got these clamps. These C-clamps. Now I could have gotten them a little bit bigger. These are 3-inch clamps. Should have gotten 4, because on the back of this board right here I have another piece of like sacrificial board, so I won't bend the life out of it. So I'll just tighten that up a little tiny bit there and get a second one. Do the same thing. Put it roughly center, tighten it up a little bit, like that. And I have a short piece of pipe here, and I just turn one, a full turn, turn that one a half turn just to start it off. There we go. Turn like that. And I just keep turning them until the mending plate is in place. Now, I was thinking about taking this pin out and grinding this to a hex shape and then putting my drill on it, but that'd be ruining a good clamp. But this takes a little bit longer, but it works. Just a little bit of fooling around, but it works. And there you have it. It's mending plate installed by using C-clamps. So I've got the mending plates in today. I've got this mocked up. It's this is where I'm actually going to be sleeping. I have yet to attach all that yet. Next, I'm getting ready to lower this onto these dollies. I got 3 of them here. They're actually 2 by 3 foot dollies. These Pegasus stands, the tops are smaller than 2 by 3, so I've got 3 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my lovely wife to come help me. I'm going to lift up on the front end, and we're going to slide this aluminum stand in. Then I'm going to go to the back end, lift that up, slide out the Pegasus from down there, and lay that end on the dolly. And then I'm going to lift this end, and my wife's going to slide in 2 more dollies, and we're done. And here it is, much lower. My wife came out, gave me a hand to put the dollies underneath, and it can roll very easily. So it's going to be excellent for when it's raining outside. I can work on it. If I'm working on this side, Slide it all the ways over there. Working on the other side. Slide it all the ways over here. Excellent. Working on the front. Just pushing it with my knees. My driveway is gravel, so getting it out there, well, that's a tomorrow problem. But I'm thinking 2x12s and pipe, roll it out there. But anyway, end of day 6, I think it is. Not a lot of heck of a lot of building done, but I have made progress in that this is set up now to be able to be built inside the garage. And yeah, I'm stoked. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. See you next time. Well, it's day 7. Still rain, drizzle, and fog. So I'm out here now. I'm working on the back section. This is where the door is going to go. I was doing some calculations and stuff for cut list, but you know, I was thinking, might as well just break out the saw and start cutting pieces, because I know roughly how everything's going to fit together. So yeah, and with the wood shrinking and expanding and that sort of stuff, obviously the measurements aren't exactly as on this piece of paper, so it's going to be more custom cuts. I moved a couple of pieces of 2x10 outside, and I brought in this piece of plywood that I had for a makeshift workbench. So might as well. And I've got my wood sorted for my pretty straight pieces to my odd cut off pieces to my sort of wonky pieces. I'll use those for shorter pieces here. I did some rough measurements. Center is right here, 29.5. Rough stud opening for the door, we're going to be doing 30.5, which brings it out to here, there, and right there at that mark. So I'm going to have to build up the frame from here up to, about here somewhere. Okay, let's start cutting. Well, after spending a little bit more time looking at those measurements and looking at the measurements there, and I chatted with my wife, and we figured probably the best thing to do is cut the measurements as per the trailer now, because that's how she's sitting. That's how she wants to sit. If she's a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch off in the width on the top versus the width on the bottom, if we pull it together, it's going to be forcing something that doesn't want to be forced. And she did make a good point that we're going to be towing this down the road, and it's going to be buffered by wind. It's going to be jostled anyway. So the less stress, probably the better. So I'm going to be cutting these pieces based on the frame, which is going to be pretty close to this, but it's going to be out a little bit. So essentially all I'm doing is I took this piece, which I know is good here, putting it here, and just measuring from there to there for the piece that's going across here. Simple. Okay, check that it's 20 3/8. Okay, so this is the door precariously in the opening. I've just got everything held together with clamps here, and my wife is off screen getting ready to jump just in case the door moves. So, and I won't get her in the frame. So there, yeah, so we have a door. It looks a lot better with a door. We had to do spent the last half an hour trying to figure out calculations. I just having a brain freeze. And we actually made it a little bit shorter. We still got plenty of room up there. I can put a header in there, and you can see along the back, plenty of room there for another, for a header. And yeah, there we go. Come together. Okay, so I have this section down here all glued and screwed, and that's relatively plumb. Just got to go in a little smidgen, but that'll all tighten up later. And so now we're going to do this piece here. I'm going to install these last because I'm going to have to trim those because where I shorten them a little bit. Oh, these are the outside walls. Shorten these by about ½ inch, so most likely this will have to be shortened by ½ inch as well, which is no big deal. So I'm just gonna go put on a pot of water now, boil some water, get some coffee in my French press, and my wife brought me on a yummy looking sandwich, so I'm gonna have that now while I'm waiting for my coffee to perk and stuff. Yeah, I could have my nails closer. Sorry, my screws closer to me, but I don't. I'm getting my steps in. Just putting in a cross brace here. I'll show you now what it looks like. There we go. There we go. So this is what it looks like. Show you. I'm putting in a cross brace here and here. Then I'm going to bring in the door and find out where I can put a header right across here for an extra bit of stability. And then I pretty much got the back end done. Okay, so back is framed in. Got the braces. Managed to get a header in there. So now I'm just, the only two pieces that I have to screw in are these here. So once I just test fit the door, I'll take this section off and screw those pieces in. And I've got some braces here, so it won't, you know, change shape or anything. So I'll just go grab the door and pop it in. And I've got the door in. Now let's just go around the back and see. Okay, it's kind of flush on one side and a little bit of room on the other. That's fine. If I need to notch this a little bit to make sure the door's swinging correctly, I'll do it. But it's got about a ½ inch on each side and enough room. See, for a nailing strip right there and the nailing strip right here, and enough room to nail across the top. Not worried about the corners, or I may put in a corner piece there, maybe not, but that's it. Okay, so there we go. I think it's day 7. Got the back wall completed. Thanks for watching.